Hello fellow members, ISMHS colleagues, and all supporters in our communities. Welcome to the 2020 Annual Members Report for the Friends of TC Steele. We are pleased to be delivering our 2020 Annual Report from the Hermitage in Brookeville, Indiana. The Hermitage is listed on the National Register of Historic Places and was originally built in 1835. In 1898, artists T.C. Steele and J. Adams reconfigured the home, including studios for each artist. The home was originally referred to as Old Butler House and was later renamed the Hermitage by T.C. Steele's wife, Libby, and was intended to be a summer home to be used by both families. However, upon the untimely death of his wife, Libby, Mr. Steele sold his stake in the Hermitage to J. Adams in 1907. The Adams family would later turn the Hermitage into their permanent residence. The Hermitage is located on the banks of the Whitewater River's East Fork in the village of Brookeville. This area is in the heart of the Whitewater Valley and near Vernon and Metamora, two of Steele's favorite painting areas in the Whitewater Valley. Both Steele and Adams were convinced that they would never run out of painting subjects in the Whitewater Valley. Steele, Adams, and other members of the Hoosier Group, William Forsythe and Otto Stark, also visited and painted in this area for several years. The room I'm in today served as Steele's studio until 1907 and remains largely unchanged. The stained glass French doors behind me separate Steele's studio from the living room and were crafted by his son Rembrandt Steele, known as Brant. These beautiful doors contain 406 individual pieces of stained glass. The painting behind me is titled The Hermitage. It was not until 1926 that this painting was authenticated to be a work of Steele's by his second wife Selma. This painting was later on display at the inaugural exhibit of the Hoosier Group at the Indiana State Fairgrounds in 1984. The drawing to my left is a pencil drawing of the Hermitage done by T.C. Steele, and the easel that it rests on belonged to J. Adams. The Hermitage remains an important part of Steele's history to this day. Between 1898 and 1906, otherwise known as Steele's Brookeville period, Steele painted extensively in the Whitewater Valley area. 4 distinct paintings from this time period can be found in our virtual gallery. In the Whitewater Valley near Metamora, Brookeville landscape. Summer days at Vernon and street in Vernon. Additionally, T.C. Steele wrote in 1895, "I wonder if the crimson oaks will ever look so fine, burned with such inward fire and toned with such an envelope of ashen gray as those we used to see at Vernon." We would like to give a special thanks to Martha Shea, the innkeeper and proprietor of this historic site for the past 42 years. Thank you, Martha, for allowing us access to Steele's studio. For those who have not visited the Hermitage, we would highly encourage each of you to do so. Before continuing, we would like to also take a moment to say thank you to all of you, our members and volunteers, who have continued to provide support and encouragement throughout this challenging year. Without all of you, none of this would be possible. So on behalf of myself and the board, thank you for continuing to be a part of this journey. I'd like to now review our meeting agenda. I'll begin with a few remarks about our updated strategic plan. We'll then review our key activities and accomplishments in 2020. There are 9 key successes I'll highlight. I'll briefly walk through our sources and uses of funds. I'll then announce the winners of the Volunteer of the Year Award and our newest award, Business Partner of the Year. And lastly, we'll conclude with some final thoughts. Let's begin with our strategic plan, which drives our goals. This document is linked to our mission and outlines the strategic objectives and initiatives the board will execute on over the next 3 years. This document is available on our website at tcsteele.org. If you have any questions or thoughts, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at info@tcsteele.org. At this time, we'll review the key successes of this past year. First, we conducted our second annual member survey. This survey allows us to gather feedback from our members on our membership value and member satisfaction. For example, a key takeaway this year was excitement around the paintings and content of our virtual gallery. Next, we launched our virtual gallery. 2020 was a banner year for our virtual gallery, and we are proud to say we have 100 paintings and portraits currently available for viewing online. These paintings by Steele represent all genres, geographies, and time periods of his work. This initiative is strongly linked to our mission and is a direct reflection of our strategic objective to provide historical knowledge. We have received a tremendous amount of positive feedback, and members can expect to continue to receive monthly Art of Steele emails in 2021. We are interested in featuring many Steele paintings in our gallery. If you have one you would like featured, or you know anyone that does, please reach out to us at info@tcsteele.org. Next, we are now a GuideStar certified organization. GuideStar is an information service organization specializing in the reporting of nonprofit organizations. Their mission is to promote transparency and provide accurate information about nonprofit organizations around the world, so that donors have a resource to use for verification before making contributions. This year we achieved the GuideStar Bronze Seal of Transparency, and our goal for 2021 is to achieve the Gold level seal. Next, we have re-engineered our membership database. This initiative has involved the implementation of a new database using the Salesforce platform. This will allow for a more accurate and efficient method to manage our membership and communication. Next, we have transitioned to a fully digital newsletter published quarterly. This allows us to communicate frequently with our members while reducing costs. We are pleased that many members have reached out to us with words of encouragement and appreciation of meaningful content. Next, we have established a partnership with Hoosier History Live radio show. Now in its 13th consecutive year, Hoosier History Live reaches a broad listening base throughout Indiana and as far away as London. Next, we are continuing our long-term support of the Brown County Wildflower Foray. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, this event was canceled in 2020. However, the 36th annual Wildflower Foray is currently scheduled for April 24th this year. We will continue pledging our support. Next, we are pleased with our continuing success of our member art show. In 2020, we hosted the show in its 8th year at a new venue, the Bob and Barbara Stevens Art Education Studio in the Brown County Art Gallery. We showcased over 40 original entries. Special thanks to Jeannie Bennett, Gallery Manager at the Art Gallery. And finally, we have entered into a new community partnership agreement with the Indiana State Museum and Historic Sites. The board is very excited about our future opportunities with the ISMHS and thrilled that Kathy Faree, CEO, is here to share her perspective of our agreement.
Thank you, Garrett, and thank you all for your time. We are very excited about entering into our new community partner guidelines with our friends groups at our state historic sites around the state of Indiana. I am particularly excited about the TC Steele site. It does hold a place near and dear to my heart. My great-grandfather and grandmother took a Model T Ford from Marion, Indiana, down to Barrow Wallow. They spent a Labor Day weekend watching TC Steele paint. And he apparently offered my grandmother the painting, but she didn't take it. She forgot to ask her grandchildren. But we do know there are lots of TC Steele paintings at the site, so I get to see them often. But I also keep these incredible photos of my grandmother with TC Steele on my desk. This allows us to constantly remember just how important the preservation and legacy and the stories of the people, places, and things all 12 of our locations across the state of Indiana tell. I'd also like an opportunity to thank you. Thank you for your support, and thank you for helping us continue to expand the visitor experience down at TC Steele. With dollars you've raised, we've purchased 2 electric golf carts. This allows us to give visitors who need a little help up and down that hill a ride. And that means we can expand the way people visit the site, which is wonderful, so thank you. In addition, you've agreed to paint several of the buildings, the House of the Singing Winds, the small studio, as well as the artist residence. That means that all of the buildings down there will all match again, and the spring will be shiny and clean with new blooming flowers, as well as new painted buildings. So thank you. And thank you for your time and your support and your willingness to work with us at the TC Steele State Historic Site. Jessica Stephen and Kate Wetzel are both very excited to have you come down and work with them on programs or volunteering or events, or even to help weed some of those gardens. We are grateful for your time and your passion and your dedication to the TC Steele State Historic Site, and we want to take this time to thank you. Thank you very much, and we look forward to a wonderful 2021 together.
Thank you, Kathy. As I stated, we are very excited to continue our partnership with the ISMHS, and we look forward to working together with you and the team at the Indiana State Museum and Historic Sites. We would also like to encourage all of our members to take a road trip this year and visit the Indiana State Museum or any of the 11 historic sites around the Hoosier State. I'd also like to mention the Friends of TC Steele have been actively involved this year in a collaborative effort with other Friends groups throughout the state. We have been very pleased with the input, discussions, and learnings that have occurred this past year, and I look forward to our involvement with our peer Friends groups throughout the state in 2021. Next, I'd like to transition to our financials and take a brief look. As we review the financials, it is important to note 2020 was a year of investment. Our organization was struggling with providing a value proposition that makes sense in today's environment. Additionally, basic tools such as enrollment, member communication, and membership management performed unreliably, did not exist, or were not at standards expected and needed for the organization today. Friends is a 501c3 organization incorporated in 1991. We will reach the milestone of 30 years this August, and we have operated largely the same over all these years. To be clear, the previous years lacked a focus or strategy on growing membership, fundraising, and increasing efficiency using modern-day management practices and tools. We were losing members and not offering any new ideas or services. Now, we have a new generation of members we need to recruit. We need to apply new digital interactive tools and provide a clear total value proposition that makes sense. After all, we are in 2021. The board views these investments to be necessary and long overdue. If we did not invest and change, we would be faced with closing the organization. These reasons, along with the inability to host a fundraiser due to the pandemic, resulted in an operating deficit in 2020, but allows us to be positioned to have record membership next year and a key fundraiser that will be part of our strategy going forward. We have not used any investment funds or reserve funds and will not. To summarize, we have invested and transformed the organization for the future. Everything we do now is dependent on the functionality of our digital platform and our ability to communicate, provide resources, and enroll and manage membership. In closing, I'd like to emphasize our focus on growing membership and ask you to please invite members of your family, neighbors, and colleagues to join the Friends of TC Steele. We have improved the transaction process on our website, and new members can join for as little as $15 per year. Please visit tcsteele.org for more information. Historically, an important part of our annual meeting is the announcement of the Volunteer of the Year. This year, we have also added a new category, Business Partner of the Year. First, we would like to recognize our Volunteer of the Year, David Steele. David is a lifetime member of the Friends of TC Steele and is board member emeritus. He has been on the board for 7 years and formerly served as president for 3 years. His contributions over this past year have been nothing short of remarkable. David has been an invaluable advisor to the board, always willing to leverage his experience and business acumen to guide us. This is not the first time he has won this award, but I can think of very few who deserve this recognition again. David, on behalf of myself and the board and all of our members, thank you for all that you do, and congratulations on being named the 2020 Friends of TC Steele Volunteer of the Year. The next award goes to our Business Partner of the Year. This is the first time we've recognized one of our partners in the community, and I'm very pleased to announce this year's award goes to Media Nouveau of Bloomington, Indiana, Laura Pence, proprietor. Media Nouveau has been working with the Friends since the fall of 2017 and has played an instrumental role in reimagining and re-engineering our digital platform, creating our branding materials, and publishing our e-newsletters. as well as helping us create our virtual gallery and providing keen insight in developing a new comprehensive marketing strategy. Media Nouveau owner Laura Pence has been an extraordinary partner to collaborate with. Laura is a member of the Friends herself and truly cares about the success of our organization. Laura, on behalf of myself, the board, and all of our members, thank you for all that you have done and continue to do. And congratulations on being named the 2020 Friends of TC Steele Business Partner of the Year. As we conclude today's presentation, I'd like to give a final thank you to all of our members, volunteers, ISMHS colleagues, and community partners for contributing to a successful year. We could not do any of this without you. Additionally, I would like to recognize Martha Shea for her generosity and for opening up her home to us today. If you have not visited the Hermitage, be sure to do so. Lastly, I'd like to acknowledge all of our current board members who volunteer their time each month. It is their passion, dedication, and commitment that make all of our goals a reality. It is a privilege to lead this organization. In closing, Happy New Year, and we wish you and your families a safe 2021.